Should have shaved your head.
What's going on, guys? It's EP from the Coach's Vault. Okay, this is a special edition. This is called Minority Report. So me, Marcus, and Terrence will be interviewing a coach that we know or somebody along the lines of the fitness world. So today we have Joe here. Joe is Marcus's bodybuilding coach and a great friend. Apparently, his best man in the wedding. I couldn't get that title. I still think it's fucked up.
You don't deserve it. You're too short.
You gotta
be this.
First. Like it's like tall and then really, really short and then everybody else. But anyway.
Exactly.
Okay. So
it's gonna be like a year in total wedding.
Exactly.
It's just be one big party.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
I know. It's the title. I want the title. No, I'm just saying. Anyway, okay. So we're gonna interview Joe today, see his background, and just have an open dialogue about like just what's going on with him and how he runs everything for himself. Okay. So Joe, just a quick introduction about who you are and all that kind of stuff. Why don't you go ahead and do that for us?
All right, everyone. So my name is Joe McNelis. I've been a personal trainer for about 10 years now. I've been coaching in bodybuilding for probably 7.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of background on myself. I got my Bachelor of Science degree from Rutgers University in exercise physiology. I have my strength conditioning certification through the NSCA. I'm a precision nutrition level 1 and level 2 coach for nutrition. I'm also a licensed massage therapist. I've done different certifications along the lines, whether it be training for warriors, if it would be trigger point, FMS level 1 and level 2, sleep coaching certifications. So I kind of did a little bit of everything, kind of growing up and kind of growing through the fitness industry. I'm also a TRX coach over at Equinox. That's where me and Marcus work together. I mean, I've known Marcus for going on 8 years now, from working at Workout World and then working at Equinox. So it's been a long journey with a lot of education, a lot of growth, a lot of experience. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you basically have a certification in everything. So
hey man, you gotta be the jack of all trades. It's
true. Don't be a guru or something. Generalize yourself, man. That's all it is.
It's such a diverse culture now when it comes to coaching and fitness. Yeah, you have to know a little bit of everything, because you never know what kind of clientele you're gonna come across.
Exactly. You gotta dip your toes into everything nowadays.
It's everything. You never know what you're gonna like until you actually like dip your toe into everything.
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
So maybe let's talk about your like what got you into the industry? Like why fitness? Like is it like a childhood thing? You saw Rocky and you were like, well, I'm gonna do that kind of thing.
I know you saw Rocky. You was hoping,
Why'd it have to be Rocky?
I don't know. That's my reason.
Nah, he was in a cabin one day and he was like, "Yo, this is what I want to do."
Exactly. Yeah, why don't you describe that?
My dog just tried knocking over the table. Takes it out. So what got me into the fitness industry? So growing up, I was a 4-sport athlete. Played football, baseball, basketball, ran track. But going back to even earlier, I used to watch my dad work out in the breezeway when I was a kid.
Okay.
Like I just kind of saw how he always worked out. And he always went running. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to wake up before school and went for a run around the block because I just had a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I started off in powerlifting when I was 14. And I did that just to get better at sports because football was my number one concern. I was a huge fan of Michael Jordan growing up. I mean, I kind of try to identify my playing capability like a Michael Irvin type receiver when I played football. I always liked having like that big physical presence on the field. So in order for me to do that, I'd have to get into the weight room and get bigger and stronger and faster. So I kind of use this as an avenue.
Evan, you hear that? In the weight room, you have to lift to get bigger.
I understand that. You don't need to tell me. Can you let Joe talk, please? Thank you. Continue, Joe.
And Marcus is jabbing shots at everybody today.
Yeah.
Terrence, don't be talking. You over here, guys. You have to get big too. Get your powerlifting numbers up.
So like I always had like a drive to do that, but what got me into training and coaching particularly, so when I was in California playing football, I had my second knee surgery, which sidelined me for the season. This after I had scouts looking at me, like University of Oregon, a couple of schools, and I had the surgery. and I lost my health insurance after the surgery.
Okay.
So I had no physical therapist. I had no one there really guiding like the way for me to help rehab myself. And my experience with powerlifting and like just doing research, I was able to get myself back on the field in 6 months.
Wow.
Fully recovered. I had the one doctor, even though I lost my insurance, the guy who did my surgery, let me come in for free for my checkups, just to make sure that I was on the right path for what I was doing.
Nice man right there.
So basically failing.
Yeah.
And like having no other way but to learn to get myself through it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I was able to get myself from being, fully atrophied leg, not being able to bend it, to getting back to playing football, getting to competing at the NFL regional combine, almost making it to the NFL. I thought, with having no knowledge of the sport and no knowledge of the field, what can I do to help others with that kind of knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
So I went from not wanting to be a coach to only thing I want to do is coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
All right. So with that big background of like you just wanted to coach people and really be in that fitness industry to help others, with how things are looking now with this quarantine and this everybody going out buying kettlebells, all this different type of fitness equipment. In the next like 5 to 10 years, where do you see the whole fitness industry going to?
So that's a great question. And I've actually been thinking about this for since quarantine kind of started, just to see like how fitness has evolved over the last 5 years, from going from just, back from the Jane Fonda days of aerobics to everyone weightlifting to a lot of people doing bodybuilding to sport specific training. Now people are looking at like the term functional movement and functional training.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, guys.
Thor over there going in right now.
Yeah, he's good.
Thor is his dog. He is just having a fun time. So, don't mind Joe if you hear too much noise.
I got my own little beast in here, so we all understand.
He just got neutered, so he's not supposed to be running around.
Oh, okay, I got
So
you.
now that I'm doing this, he's like, oh, he's busy. I got free reign around the house.
That's it.
No, but like it's not like how like fitness has evolved. And you look at all the trainer apps and stuff like that. I got a feeling it's kind of be like what it's doing now. Having a combination of having that virtual experience with coaching. There's nothing like an in-person experience because just the atmosphere of being inside of a gym. But everyone has their own home gyms. Everyone has access to fitness apps. And right now it seems like going the virtual route along with being in person is going to be the next wave. Especially how much success people are having with virtual training. Because now I can train my clients at their home or in the gym, or if they go on vacation, no matter where they go, they have me in their pocket.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about these big box gyms then, or even like the small little gyms? Do you feel like they're going to be obsolete at a time and it's going to be just, trainers having to work independently, or you feel like some of these companies are still going to be around within that time frame as well?
I personally think that they're going to be obsolete just because you have those bigger companies who are always changing with the times that offer the services. And like I said, like there's nothing like having a gym atmosphere, especially if you're used to that. If you grew up in a gym atmosphere and you're used to having people around you and having like that energy in the gym that you kind of feed off of, people miss that.
Mm-hmm.
I train, 3 or 4 clients a day virtually, and a lot of them say, hey, I like the virtual stuff, but I miss the atmosphere of the gym. Yeah. Because there's always going to be a social aspect of the gym. Mm-hmm. People see their friends, they like to take the classes, and people see other people in there working hard, and that motivates them. I have one of my clients who, and Marcus knows her, Kara, little short, 5'1" blonde lady, maybe about 110 pounds. Started off never lifting a weight in her life. Now she's doing pull-ups, push-ups, back squats of like 135. And every time she sees a woman in there who's stronger, she goes, oh, I got to beat her.
Yeah.
So like you don't get that atmosphere when you're, you know, at home or just doing a virtual session. So like I got a feeling that it's gonna kind of be a little bit of mixture of everything we got going on now. Especially when like quarantine ends, people want to get outside.
Yeah.
So I don't think gyms are going to be obsolete at all. I think they're still going to thrive. I think they're going to have a bigger boom because now people understand the importance of preventative healthcare, and trainers and coaches, we're in the business of professional preventative healthcare.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, that video that's going around right now about the people protesting in front of the gym, I think in LA. Oh man, you talking about people needing a trainer?
They need a trainer and doing push-ups? Come on.
Yeah.
You talk about needing a trainer? Oh my God, you couldn't do a proper body weight squat. Oh my God, it was bad.
But you know what? I do give them this. Like right now, like even those guys, they're trying their best.
Yeah.
They're trying to make the best out of a bad situation, like we all are. So if that's their way of displaying it and kind of going after it and showing like, hey, you know what? We're willing to do this if you guys allow us to. But even if we can't get into a gym, we're still going to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fitness, like we always talk about, fitness is in its own sense like medicine. So it's kind of like weird how we have to kind of figure out ways around it to kind of like give these people what they want and kind of give them their way to actually like move it, like around in their own homes. It's just a weird time, man. And I completely agree with you with this mixture stuff. Like it's gonna be that, and like, yeah, no. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next question because that we can talk about that one all day. So,
well, actually, just real quick on that, so there's a professor that used to be at Rutgers. He's actually the athletic director for University of South Carolina, Dr. Sean Arndt. He was actually one of my professors.
Yeah.
They had interviewed him and they were like, hey, what are some of the things that you do during this time with the virus? And the first thing he says is moderate exercise bolsters the immune system.
Yeah.
So like too high intensity, it'll, you know, set the immune system back a little bit because you have to recover. And if it's not enough, you don't get enough stimulation. But if you do moderate exercise daily, you can bolster your immune system and help fight the virus before it even happens.
Of course.
So like, that's the thing that like, I think that message is a message that they should be broadcasting that across the nation. Like activity is something that's going to help.
For sure. De-stresses, it helps your immune system and all that stuff. It's just weird that we have to like, we have to kind of like figure ways around it. But, but yeah, I think that's awesome. All right. So next question, some of your coaching influences, like maybe like books you read or maybe your professor or stuff like that, somebody that kind of like guided you, like how you're coaching now.
So some influences that I've seen over the years.
Yeah.
Most recently, I mean, if you guys ever heard of Nick Winkelman?
Yeah, that sounds
familiar. Nick Winkelman, he's the strength and conditioning coach for the Ireland national team, for the rugby team. When he used to work at Exos, trained all the combine guys, stuff like that. When you listen to him coach, it's like poetry in motion, like with his cueing and stuff like that. So I'm really interested in like the psychological aspect and like the cueing, internal versus external cueing, and how to do that.
Yeah.
But guys like Martin Rooney, like Van John, Bill Parisi are the guys I kind of grew up on.
Yeah.
And all those guys are really good coaches.
Of course.
You can say great coaches because they can inspire their athletes to go above and beyond of what they're expecting. But then on top of that, I've got a lot of my inspirations from having bad coaches.
Yeah.
Because everyone in this room can remember a bad coach.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, and the worst one pops right up into their mind.
Oh, 100%.
And it's what made them a bad coach. Like what made me not want to be a player for them or be under them.
Yeah.
And like, I never want one of my athletes, my clients, my mentees, anybody. I don't want anyone to ever feel that way with me coaching them. So I strive to make sure that everyone always has a great experience and they leave feeling empowered and motivated and better than when they came in.
100%.
I like that.
Yeah.
So this is not one of the questions that we have set, and I'm gonna throw you a little curveball, but this is more for like inspiration for like a lot of the newcomers. So what would you say to a aspiring, trainer, like someone who's trying to be a trainer right now, especially in this time? Maybe they're just about to get the certification and they don't have any, real feeds to generate for themselves, or everything they're doing now is practically on their own. What do you like say to that inspiring trainer about, what to do during this time?
So during these times, I mean, we all know as trainers that it ebbs and flows. Like there's sometimes we have a whole lot of clients and sometimes you don't have a lot of clients. Business is always going to do that. But for an aspiring trainer who really wants to make it, outwork everybody. Like, because there's everyone out there has their new fitness fad, has their new, lose weight, put on muscle quick scheme that's going to come out, do this in 4 weeks, do this in 6 weeks. I mean, look at it as a lifestyle, not as a overnight game plan change. If you can get your clients to buy in for lifestyle coaching, I feel that's where the long-term game's going to be. But also when it comes to coaching and my philosophy on that kind of like rolls into it is, if your clients are successful, it's always your client's fault.
Yeah.
If the client fails, it's always the coach's fault. In my eyes, if my client fails, it's because I didn't communicate the message across effectively, and I didn't motivate them to the level that they needed to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If they're successful, it's always their fault, and you let them know. I don't care if they just tie their shoe the right way. Let them know they did a great job. Because a lot of people who come into this industry and a lot of the clients who come in, they're afraid. Mm-hmm. If you let them know they're doing a great job and you reinforce that, you empower your clients. Yeah. The more empowered they are, the more the buy-in. The more the buy-in, the better your business is going to be.
100%. Yeah. I think that's all
true. I like that. I like that a lot.
100% true. 100% true. I love that. I love that the idea of even if you don't learn something good from somebody, something bad can be just as beneficial.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's a huge thing. But I want to go back to the Mike Rooney comment. Have you read his new book, Coach to Coach yet?
Not yet. Actually, I have it in my Amazon box, and I just have to hit box.
I'm hearing nothing.
One second.
That book. I need to read that book. But I think since he's away, I think if I'm going to answer Marcus's question about coaches that are just getting into the stuff, I would say not only research and learn. Everybody's online, so I would go ahead and ask questions to everybody you think has value, and just go ahead and ask these questions to random people. Be there. So right now, everybody's online, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook stuff. Provide content to people, no matter what it is, every single day, and that's going to his outwork everybody. I mean, if you can't outwork people because you're in the house, to outwork people in the house by providing them something that they can use, and then sooner or later that kind of builds your base, and then you'll go from there and you'll gain clients, hopefully online or when you get out of quarantine after that. So I think that's also a big thing.
Oh, absolutely.
What about you, Terrence?
You gotta tell them to remember, if they're ever the smartest person in the room, they're in the wrong room.
100%.
Exactly.
You gotta move.
On God. Yep. On God. 100%.
What about you, Terrence? What would you say to an inspiring trainer?
I think to an aspiring trainer, one thing that they should do is really fall in love with anatomy. Mm-hmm. The more you can learn about just the joint by joint mechanics and just understand basic movement patterns, you'll be able to assess clients a little better when they first come to you. I think that's the anatomy side of it and the movement side of it right there can separate you from a lot of the average trainers you're gonna find on social media. That's just kind of putting workouts together just to kind of make somebody tired, or just the idea of beating somebody up without really progressing the right way.
Yeah, this is prime time to get better. You know what I mean? What else you got to do? What else aren't you doing? You know what I mean? You're at home, might as well read, research, learn from everybody that you can, and provide all you can. I mean, even if it's those dumb workouts, you know what I mean? You learn those dumb workouts don't work.
I think this has been the best time actually for a lot of people. Like for myself, I picked up 2 different certifications during this time period. Of, a group of us, we all got the coaches vault that we all started, and we really are being due diligent with all.
I started it.
I said all of us. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, bald headed cabbage patch.
What are you talking about with your bald head? I see you shining up there.
I'm black. I got a beard. We're good. But no, it's just that it was really nice that we started this because it shows what you can do even though you're not out and about in the fitness community with a lot of people. So you can definitely do a lot of reading, like Evan said. You can uplift your clients that you already have or had at one moment, like Joe said, is making sure you're just reaching out to them and just keeping them just inspired to keep them motivated to keep working out because their health is very, very important, especially during this time. And like Terrence says, read, learn about the body. So that is some great information right there.
You have to sing the song. The neck bone's connected to the. You know me? Sing the song every day. Learn.
All right, you gonna sing it then? You gonna sing it?
Because I forget. But so going back to your coach's philosophy, like that, the coach's fault and then your fault. Like expand on that. Like, do you have any other philosophies that you kind of instill in your clients, or something you kind of like to pass along to other coaches?
I mean, I've always been big on like I said before, like if the client does well, it's always their fault. I mean, they're the ones putting in the hard work. They're the ones putting in the grind. Yeah, you know what? As coaches, we lay out a blueprint, but they have to execute it. And that's a big piece. And I feel that when we communicate it across effectively and they can communicate and they can execute it, that's where the success lies.
Yeah.
But for just like work ethic, I mean, and I tell this to Marcus 1,000 times a day. I mean, trust the process. You wonder why he got that tattooed on his arm.
Right there.
But like, things like, you don't stop working when you're tired. You stop working when you're done.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to the work ethic. And, I've always believed that like success really falls on 2 things, your focus and your effort. And, we control both of those.
Okay.
So, I mean, just things like that. Yeah. I mean, if you wake up with a fire in your belly every day and you're ready to work, I mean, you're going to do well.
Yeah, 100%.
I like that. So yeah. I want the people that are watching this to learn a little more about you, Joe. I know you broke a little bit during the beginning, but what are some other accolades that you have, acquired, throughout your existence of life? So I want to let people to know about that. Yeah, use a dictionary, Evan. Use a dictionary. You might be able to understand what I'm saying.
I practiced it. That's all.
That was a SAT word. So, I mean, 4-sport athlete in high school, played college ball, went to Sam Houston State to play wide receiver, and then finished on my college career at Rutgers. When I was 19, I broke a powerlifting world record for the IPA for a deadlift. Let's see. I mean, I've placed in bodybuilding shows. I competed at the national level. I coached bodybuilders, Mark's being one of them, Steve Rogers, who's a pro. I was published in Muscle and Fitness magazine in 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
I competed at the NFL Regional Combine. I mean, I've done a lot of different things. I tried to stay well-versed. I mean, no matter what I was doing, if it was, powerlifting, if it was bodybuilding, if it was football, I mean, I always have to stay competitive.
Yeah.
And I just kind of put all my effort into it. I mean,
that was quick.
Of course, Mark, I think he hangs it up on his wall.
He does. I think I did see a little thumbtack like in the middle of it.
Got your support, man.
So that article was actually, it was kind of punny. It was called Not Your Average Joe. So it kind of went through like my daily routine while I was out in prep, obviously with work. And it was actually because one of my clients who one of their companies is affiliated with a magazine. Actually, they called the magazine and told them about me, because like they always ask me, like, you know, how's your day going, kind of thing. And like, you know, I was up at that time, up at 3:30. I was in the gym by 4:15 doing cardio for 5 o'clock clients, working from 5 to 8, training from, you know, 8 to 9, having clients from 9:30, 10:30, meeting at 1:30, meditation time, posing time, night clients, and then I was doing massage therapy school at the same time, while still doing precision nutrition level 2 coaching. And it kind of came down to like prioritizing what you want to get done.
Yeah.
And like I said before, like, yeah, you know what, those days I was exhausted. I was putting in 15, 16, 17-hour days. But you know, I stopped working when I was done. And that's kind of where I went with that article. Honestly, I didn't even know that was gonna be a 4-page spread. I thought I was just gonna take a couple photos, like, hey, this is the bench press, this is the pull up. And then I got a phone call when I was driving in from the editor, and they said, hey, we're doing a interview for you. I was like, interview for what? Like, what do you guys want to know about me? There's not much to tell. And then that came out. So
that's awesome.
that was actually pretty cool. And so it came out the week of Marx's national show.
Yo, oh my God.
I was actually flying down to the show, and I had a layover in Chicago. I just happened to be walking by the stand, and like I was just like looking around the magazine section, and I saw that Muscle and Fitness came out. And the month prior, which I thought I was in, I wasn't in. So I was like, oh, maybe I got kicked out of it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm like flipping through the magazine in the airport, and I come across my tattoo. And I was like, what the hell?
It's crazy.
Like,
they just tell you that you're on it. They just expect you to keep looking through shit. Like, I'm on this. And then 5 years later, you're never on it. But like the one time.
Well, what happened? They told me it was a November slated issue. So like when November came out, like Creed 2 had just come out. So like Dolph Lundgren and his son was on the cover.
Yeah.
And then you had The Rock in there and like all these things. I'm thinking, okay, like I got kicked out for like Dwayne Rock Johnson. I was like, I'll take that out. Like, it's cool. I mean, it's, you know, The Rock. But then I was like, all right, maybe I just didn't get in. And I didn't want to ask my client about it because I thought that was rude.
Yeah.
And then I just happened to come across it. Like, I was like, oh, hey, I'm in this one.
That's freaking awesome, man. Yeah, man.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I mean, we got 8 minutes left. So, I mean, if anybody else got any other questions, why don't you go ahead and shoot?
Yeah, I got one. Could you tell us about a very high moment in your coaching career, and on the flip side, a very low moment of your coaching career?
That's a good question.
So,
I'd like to hear this one.
Marcus.
So Marcus is definitely in there. For bodybuilding, Marcus placing top 5 in a national level show is definitely a high moment. A low moment in my career, actually probably more recently, one of my clients actually passed away from coronavirus.
Oh man.
So you know, that was a low moment. And it was because, and like he had literally just quit the gym. And he's like, hey, you know, can we work outside? And I was like, you know, right now I can't, just because, you know, everything going on with me working at Equinox and stuff like that. And I just didn't have the physical time in the schedule.
Yeah.
And like I heard it happen, and like my first thought was I could have done more. I could have done more for him, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So like that, it hit a little bit differently.
Yeah. Because
like you put everything into, you know, your craft. And like I wake every morning, I love this stuff. I wake up at, you know, 3:30 to get ready for work for 5. Like I want to be at work. I want to help people. And when like I found out about that, I felt like that I let him down.
Yeah.
And then like all my, you know, coworkers reached out, and they all kind of said the same thing. They're like, you were there every morning at 5 a.m. for this guy.
Yeah.
And like you put everything into it, and know that he appreciated everything you do. And I came across a text message from him saying that, like, that how much he appreciated like all the effort that I put in for him, that he really respects my opinion, and he speaks very highly of me to everyone he talks to. And, you know, it kind of put things into perspective.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I like with this stuff, I'm like really big on like helping people as much as I can, no matter the time of day. I mean, I have people who call me at 11 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, Marcus. But like, cause you never know what that phone call is going to be.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to be the person who misses that phone call or misses that text message or says, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to turn my phone off today because I don't want to talk to anybody, because that's going to be the day that someone really needs me. And I don't want to not be there.
Yeah.
But actually a couple of high moments. My one client, Pete, when we first started, came in pre-diabetic, heart condition, on blood pressure medication, just had like a torn up Achilles tendon. 8 months later, lost 30 pounds off of his diabetes medication, no longer a diabetic. So showing that exercise and nutrition intervention can cure type 2 diabetes, all his blood pressure medication, and just a battery of things. And he went to his doctor and he said, "You're the healthiest you've ever been in your life."
Oh, that's incredible.
That's great.
That's awesome.
So like that's the stuff that motivates me. Like, I got like a 75-year-old woman who like runs the agility ladder like a 30-year-old. like stuff like that. Like, I love going to work every day knowing that I have a direct impact on people in a positive manner every day I go to work. And not many people can say that.
That's awesome.
That is true.
That's awesome. And that's an outstanding way to end it. Just with a high, and then you went low, and then you went back high. It was awesome. but
you gotta be a storyteller sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta be a storyteller. Great communicator, man. Thank you so much, Joe, for being our first guest on the Minority Report. All right. So guys, I'm talking to the viewers now, not you guys. So Marcus, shut up. Okay. So so guys, all right, we'll be having a conversation with the coach maybe every Thursday around 7 o'clock. Okay, we'll be posting it on Friday.
8 o'clock if you live in Jersey.
Yeah, or 8 if you live in Jersey, whatever. Okay. But anyway, I told you to be quiet.
Cool, it's 8 o'clock.
Can I you always do this. Can I talk?
Why don't you give the proper details then next time, huh? How about that?
If you guys ever need anything, you can always email me or
Thank you. Okay. All right. So again, we'll be having a meeting with the coach every Thursday just to ask him some questions. We thank you, Joe, again for being our first guest, and we thank all you guys for supporting us during this time and supporting the Coaches Vault. And any way we can help you guys, ask, email us, do whatever you need to do. And Joe, why don't you drop your details just in case anybody wants to get in contact with you from what you said or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone ever has questions or comments or anything like that, I'm always free for that kind of stuff. My Instagram tag is JoeyMac3, so JoeyMac3, or my email is jmcnelis1988@gmail.com. So the letter J, my last name McNelis 1988@gmail.com. You guys can shoot me a question, email anytime you like. Like I said before, I'm out to help anyone and anyone any way I can.
Not only a great coach, but a great freaking human being. All right. Thank you, Joe.
Exactly.
All right.
Appreciate that, Evan.
Minority
Guys,
Report.
thanks for having me. I had a good time.
Have a good one, Joe. Have one, guys.
Later.